Unrivaled is on the way, and I'm super excited just to see what this looks like. Frankly, it feels like, generally speaking, I know we talked about Unrivaled a little bit when the roster was completed and Sabrina was the last player announced. And like, I think I feel like we harped on the negative aspects of the rollout too much in that, because the foundation of our interest in this is very much excitement at the fact that there is a new women's basketball league that is doing a whole lot of things right. And like, from the media day rollouts we've seen with like the Sephora stuff and everything, all the content coming out, like everything has been phenomenal so far, frankly. And so I'm very, very excited to see what the actual on-court product looks like. But speaking of that on-court product, Andrew, I'm interested for you. Is there a player that you're just like excited to see in this 3-on-3 environment, whether it be a player that's already been in 3-on-3, if it's a player that maybe this is their first time, like where is your kind of head at just from an excitement level and what you're excited to see as we approach Unrivaled starting?
I think I'm most interested to watch Angel Reese, to be honest.
Bro, I was thinking the same thing.
And the reason I say that is because everything you hear from players about the difference between 5-on-5 and 3x3 is that there is a physicality that is different. Yep. and different as in more physical,
right,
on 3x3.
Right.
But also the requirement of speed to close out and recover.
Yep.
And the reason I'm so interested in Angel Reese in that respect is I already think she's a plus defender in that regard.
Yep.
How much more can she improve in that confined space where you're going to have to guard smaller, more nimble players, because there's not going to be as much of like a back to basket situation that she is used to operating in.
Yeah.
And if I'm Tyler Marsh, the Chicago Sky head coach, I'm kind of stoked on that.
Yeah.
Because what it allows is for Angel to kind of become a little bit more of a 4 than a 5. And that solves your spacing problem with Camila Cardoso, because Camila right now is over in China playing the 5. Yeah. And frankly, like, that's going to be Camila's gig, man. She's 6'7". She's going to be the 5.
That's not changing. Right.
Yeah. Like, she's not Dominique Malonga. She's not a Jersey Wolfenbarger. She's not even like a DeWanna Bonner, who's effectively a 6'4" guard. She's a 6'7" back to basket big. And, she is an absolute freak of an athlete and is able to run the floor and do guard-ish things, but she's not pulling up from 18 feet.
No.
Angel can do that. And I feel like the evolution of Angel's game is to, especially if she gets that jumper right, to eventually kind of become an Asia-ish type player, like an Asia Wilson-ish type player, where the range and the 18-foot, but the ability to get in and assert yourself in the paint also fits and works. And defensively, it makes you switchable all the way down to like 2s, maybe not guarding 1s, but like if you get switched on by a guard, 3x3 experience can help you handle that in a more effective way than 5-on-5 reps would. And so I really like it, because I think that this is going to evolve her game into the forward that she is meant to be. Frankly, the forward that we thought she would be at Maryland. And then she goes to LSU and Kim Mulkey builds her into this, like, big that she kind of is now, which is good. And the effort and what you do is good. I said all year, like, the comp was Rodman this year, because she was, a net 0 offensively, in my opinion, skill wise, but she's a generational defender in the paint. So like, it's one of the two. And so I'm most interested in that, because I think she has the most gain coming out of this. Now, who do I think is going to actually surprise people by being really good in this format, and people might walk away with like an inflated view of who the player is by the time we get 5-on-5? It's Big Mama, Steph Dolson.
Hello, stretching the floor.
Dog, Steph Dolson is about to eat in this league.
Dominant.
And people are going to like walk out and be like, what do we have here with Steph Dolson? And it's important to know, like, Steph had a great year with the Washington Mystics. Like, not a great year result-wise with the team, but she herself had a really good season statistically. But I have a feeling like her and Azare Stevens too, friend of the pod, Azare, like I think the two of them are going to be players that, they thrive in this format. They've played in this format competitively. And I think maybe in the first couple of games, they're going to catch some of the normal 5-on-5 players by surprise.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to catch some fans by surprise, being like, whoa, shit. Like, what the hell is this,
No, I'm with you. I know for me, like the biggest thing, I'm with you when it comes to seeing Angel. And part of that is honestly seeing Angel with Chelsea Gray. Like you're giving Chelsea Gray even more spacing, like just openness on the floor to make passes. Like, come on, like that's gonna be electric with the way. Like, I'm interested in seeing the gameplay itself and like on the condensed court and like what that actually looks and feels like in that way. But just in my head, the Chelsea Gray and Angel Reese pick and roll and pick and pop and the potential for that, it feels like such a perfect opportunity for Angel to grow in that skill set as well. But again, like this is Unrivaled is supposed to be about skill development. Like that is, it is supposed to be the replacement for going overseas and developing there. And like all the signs when it comes to the coaches they hired and everything, like that is absolutely the emphasis. And what seems like players are pretty excited about in having that opportunity to develop those skills. So I'm intrigued. I think Rickea Jackson is another player. Like I'm very interested in seeing how she comes out of this, especially more on the defensive side of the ball and how potentially this can develop her on that side of the ball as well. I think her offensive game and working at mid range is there and like is going to be super fun to watch in this setting as well. Are you excited to see Sabrina and Satu together again?
I am. That's going to be fun because in a kind of funny way, BG kind of is like the Ruthie in that scenario because like she like the skill set is very similar. She's just 6'7" and bigger. So like I am kind of curious if like Sabrina and Satu are like, look, this is how we ran PNR pick and pop and BG come try this with us. I'm very curious about that. The one thing I am sad about is, of course, that Cam Brink is not going to be playing this season and she's recovering. And the reason I say that beyond the actual play itself, the Lunar Owls versus no, not Rose. Hold on. I need to find it here. The Lunar Owls, first of all, are like the shit talking. It's like the shit talking.
Yeah, I got the right.
Shakira Austin, Cam Brink, Skylar Diggins, Courtney Williams, and Nafisa Collier to be like, hey,
all on one.
Yes.
Like, Nafisa Collier is there to remind them that sponsors are watching.
Exactly. She's there to remind them, like, hey, like we're in this league. But then Rose BC, Chelsea Gray, Angel Reese, and Sykes.
That's dog v dog
combo. You know, I mean, even actually, I take it back. Lunar Owls and Phantom. Phantom is the Shit Talk Hall of Fame.
Mabry,
Cloud, BG, Sabrina, Marina, and Satu.
Yeah, no, because I feel like that this is like obviously people know Marina, but like there's some underrated shit talking on this team. I feel like this is
this is the all yap team, dog. Like
just constantly
team and
like
Marina, Cam Brink led Lunar Owls might result in a fight
because we've heard every Pac-12 player we've ever talked to about Cam Brink is just talk. She might be there on the bench still talking. That's how we hold out hope for this. I think.
So all right, so there's that piece, and then my final those are the all shit talkers. The all frustrating team. Easily the Laces. A Steph Dolson, Alyssa Thomas led team in physical 3x3. Players are going to want to throw hands at how physical they're about to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And Kate Martin is going to come back knowing how to swing on folks. Jackie Young is going to come back finally knowing like I never get calls going to the hoop, and so I'm just going to like pester you.
If Jackie Young learns some like big body like moves from an AT, goodness gracious. Like Jackie's already got some, but like good lord.
Well, and that's kind of the cool thing too. The mixing collaboration of styles here.
For sure.
I think it's really interesting because, as you mentioned, like it is developmental in nature. How much discussion among these players that don't typically play with each other? Is there going to be like, this is what I do in my game. Like, why don't you take this? Why don't you do that? Because, you know, for all of the agita that Unrivaled gets is being like, oh, this is like the girls, you know, like the Bad Girls Club and the, you know, the popular lunch table and all the other nonsense that's said by people who don't like the fact that this is led by 2 UConn players. Like, it at the end of the day is a bunch of people that like clearly get along with one another and like are clearly fine exchanging like the ideas and thoughts that create elite basketball. And so, you know, when I look at something like that, like your point is so well taken, right? Like, what can Rickea Jackson learn from Stewie?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I think that might be from like a 1-to-1 player, like on the same team. That really might be my most exciting combo of like quote unquote rookie and vet is Stewie and Rickea. That really might be my most exciting one.
Absolutely. I think that one is really great. And it's great because of the comparative like youth and age that is involved there. There's not a lot of other folks that are. Although, man, like Shakira Austin and Fee, kind of the same deal. Like, I think there's a lot that Kira can learn from Fee. And I think that Brink, had she been healthy, I mean, she'll at least pull some stuff up through osmosis. Kind of the same deal. What can Kate Martin learn from Kayla McBride?
That is, I was just about to bring that exact one up. Like that is, you know, that's 100%.
Like there's just like these little components in here that I'm really interested to see how it transfers over into the W when the time comes and when we get there.
Yeah. Well, we're almost there. We're almost there to Unrivaled, and like
crazy.
Obviously we are tapped in across the board. It's just it's such a fun time to be in women's basketball, man, and just like consuming all of this